Can we start, sir?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are witnessing the complexity arising out of Corona. We all know that being calm in the time of chaos is a valuable virtue, but it's not as simple as it looks. Let's learn together how to effectively manage these unpredictable circumstances. To guide us, we are having Dr. Mohit Gupta. He is a professor of cardiology, a scientific researcher, and a motivational speaker. He has published more than 150 research articles in various international and national journals. He is the awardee of Excellence in Cardiology in year 2018 by Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Mr. J.P. Nadda. He is also a recipient of Agra Ratna Award by Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi. He is also a recipient of Bishan Sarup Young Scientist Award, D.P. Basu Memorial Award, and many other in the list. He has been associated with Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University from his childhood and given more than 800 lectures and conducted multiple symposia all over the world. Currently, he is working as a professor of cardiology at GB Pant Hospital. Now I request Dr. Gupta sir to guide us further. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I welcome you all on this wonderful day and this wonderful evening. Namaskar and Om Shanti to all of you. So, as Dr. rightly took the word that we are all locked up in our homes, while we all feel that we are locked up in our homes, it is a conscious choice that are we locked up in our mind also or not. We must understand one thing. Somebody has nicely said that knowledge is piling up of facts, but wisdom is simplifying it. So today, we'll try to understand. I'm not going to load you with a great presentation, but I'm going to take you on a very beautiful and a reflective journey. Very fine journey. One journey that is your own journey, that is going to reveal the secrets of your life. In this beautiful journey, we'll be discussing that what is this chaos in our life all about? Why do we feel that our life has turned chaotic? Is it only because of this present incident, or there are certain other decisions, our own choices that we are making in our life that contribute to the chaos? We will understand that. And each one of us will actually introspect ourselves on this beautiful journey. Another aspect that we would reflect is that why do we actually need transformation? Naturally, if we all understand that there is chaos in our life, transformation is needed. The third question that naturally comes to us is, who has to transform? Are other goings to change? Always, when we talk about change, we feel that other person should change. Situations should change. Is it the right way we take decisions? Is it the right way we communicate the change to the other person? Or someone else has to take this responsibility? The fourth thing that we are going to discuss is, what is the simple science behind? What are the simple ways? We are not going to have a 10 or 12 point tool, but simple small changes in our life that add to calmness in our life, that can easily take away or melt away the chaos in our lives. And lastly, we would understand the power of meditation, the power of silence. What power this silence gives us, how beautifully it tells us that to change and to transform is not an outward phenomena, but it's a magical inward phenomena, isn't it? So let's start this beautiful journey. We all know that we started our lives in harmony with nature. Nature was always supposed to complement us. It was there to guide us. It was there to nurture all of us. It was there to take care of all of us. God gave us 5 beautiful elements, these wonderful elements of earth, water, fire, air, and space. Earth that was supposed to feed us. See what we have transformed this earth into. For our small little gains, we are destroying our mother earth. You would be surprised today that 48 football fields worth of forest is destroyed every minute. This is what our own human race has given back to Mother Nature. When we talk about water, water which forms almost 80 to 90% of our own ecosystem, what kind of water are we ingesting? How beautifully we are able to maintain this purity and sanctity of water by our own little karma, by our own small little selfish greeds. We have destroyed a powerful resource of water, and just to regain that original nature of water, we are now designing filters to purify, to regain that original water. The air that we are inhaling today, it has turned out to be poisonous. Every day we are talking about air quality indices, and you see, the moment human beings are locked inside, the purity of air is going up. What kind of contribution we as human beings have returned back to our mother? Fire, which is destroying us today, day in and out. Forest fires, multiple fires, it is taking a significant toll on our own lives. And lastly, space. This is a real picture from September 8, 2019. This space was supposed to protect us from the harmful UV radiation. And unfortunately, by our own destruction of nature, you see, the maximum hole has been created in space. So what do we talk about? The earth is crying. And when the things go out of control, the change becomes inevitable. Nature has to find a way to heal itself. Nature has to find to bounce back. Today, we as part of nature are also getting some time to ponder and think that how we have abused our own resources, our own thoughts, and our own life. And today, when this all things go into extreme, the change is inevitable. But my dear friends, today, all of us must understand, while change is inevitable, transforming our own life is a conscious choice. We might be doing something, we might be listening and reading to 100,000 things in our life, but am I able to integrate those pure thoughts into my mind and transform my thought process in my life? That is what is going to create the power of evolution. A big question that comes is that, are we ready for the suddenness and secrecy of change in our life? We never thought 3 months or 2 months back that we would be locked up in our homes and we would be having a webinar like this. Never ever we would have thought about this. It took only 3 months for this little creature, this little invisible creature, to bring the whole human race, to bring its mammoth systems, to bring the technology that we human beings have created, to bring our own materialistic treasures to its feet. Merely 3 months. And with this, all our ego comes crashing down. We become more and more humble. My dear friends, we must understand, while this was the real world, the picturesque world that we used to see in our movies, now it has transformed into a real world. And this is a picture of the ICUs that today our doctors, our healthcare workers, we human beings are forced to manage. Never ever did we face such kind of crisis in our own life. This today leaves all of us, without exception, globally, in more than 200 countries, every human being, it leaves us predominantly with 4 feelings. The feeling of fear in our lives, the fearing of worry what is going to happen tomorrow, the uncertainty that with which we are living in our life, and naturally panic. Every day we are checking numbers. What is happening today? Are there more deaths? What is the incidence? What is happening around the world? Throughout the day, we keep on consuming overdoses, toxic doses of fear. And I personally believe in my life that we called ourselves today in 21st century as the most evolved generation, as the most evolved being in this world. But my question to you is, are we really evolved or are we evolving today? If we would have evolved, there are two things in our life that we must understand. Growing old is mandatory. Naturally, we all grow old by our age. But my dear friends, today, growing up is an optional choice. It's a conscious choice that we all make today. And when we grow up today, along with growing old, that is what is called evolution. We must ask ourselves today that while we have designed all this technology, are we able to evolve our thought process into a more compassionate, into a more humane, into a more loving, into a more caring thought process? Probably the answer that comes is no. My dear friends, we must understand today that while Mother Nature gives all of us enough to take care of all our needs, but unfortunately, it's our greed, our endless desires that take control of our life, and naturally we stop or push a pause button on our mental evolution. So in the middle of all this difficulty, we are talking about what we have done. We also get an opportunity. It's an opportunity that we all must use today to transform our. It's an opportunity today to choose conscious process of evolution. It's an opportunity today that we all must evolve by our own mind. But what is that magic pill? How do we do that? I remember a very beautiful story that I read in my childhood. And that was a story of a captain, a very humble, a very wise captain, who used to steer his ship and had hundreds and hundreds of passengers who used to travel on his ship. Whenever small storms come, he used to steer his ship to the side, taking care of all the waves and steer his ship to the safety. And all the journeys that he did were very, very perfect and fine. But one day, when he was steering a ship on a cruising a ship, one day he saw that a big storm was coming and he was right there in front of that storm. He could not have steered his ship to the side of that storm because he knew that the strength of the storm was so powerful that it would just throw away the ship to the sides and everybody would lose their lives. So suddenly, what he did smartly was he started driving, cruising his ship fast into the center of the storm, right there into the storm. And suddenly, while facing some level of turbulence, when he reached the center of the storm, what surprised everyone and he remained peaceful was there was utmost calm in the center of the storm. When people came to him, the storm was over. He answered very, very politely that, my dear friends, why I did this was because in the center, in the eye of the storm, you always remain in control. It's utmost calm inside in the center of the storm. That tells us today that when there is turbulence outside, when situations are going out of control, when we don't have human resources that are so powerful that can take care of all of us perfectly, in those turbulent situations, in those negative situations, in those very, very erratic situations, in those situations that are provoking us to react in our lives, it is very, very pertinent. It is imperative for all of us to remain in control of our own self. We have to go in the eye of the storm, and that eye of the storm is our own mind. If we take control of our own mind, my dear friends, the crux of the matter is everything outside falls in place. That is what is we all of us need to understand. If we try to take control of people, if we try to take control of situations, probably the solution would never be there. But just imagine that if 130 crore people of our country, they choose to take control of their own lives. If we choose to take control of our own mind, how beautifully we would be able to defeat this particular disease and take care of any turbulent situation, any chaotic situation in our life. Let me take you to a beautiful journey. Let us go on and imagine and look back on our own lives. Unlock our own mind. What kind of life we used to live? It was a life in which we didn't need much technology. It was a life of love. It was a life when we had time for ourselves. It was a life when we used to connect with ourselves. Those were the times when we were not connected to each other by technology. We didn't have these high-tech devices. We didn't have too much to speak to each other. Probably one phone call, probably two phone calls a day. That's all, that too on our old phone. One television serial is what we used to see in our own childhood. These were the times. Remember your own childhood, beautiful childhood, when there was nobody around you. You just used to play. You just used to be. That was your innocence. That was your life. I remember my own life, my own childhood days when we used to enact plays, wonderful days when nobody was important in our life. We used to focus on our innocence, purity, creativity, love in our relationships, harmony in our life used to be predominant. These were the things which governed your life. These were the emotions that governed our life. This was the smile, the addictive smile, the priceless smile, the smile which didn't have any price tag, the smile which was so innocent. This was the life which we designed, which we dreamt of in our life. This was the innocence which we want in our life. But suddenly, one day, what happened? We revolutionized our life. It was important. It was necessary. We designed this technology, the computers, the mobile phones, and the big smartphones. We designed this technology. Why? To make our lives comfortable, so that we could maintain our smile, so that we could be happy in our life. And as our work was increasing, our technology will take care of our work. We will be free. We will be happy. We will be relaxed. We will have time for our family. We will stay connected to our family. And technology was supposed to help us. And this is what technology gave us. We had smartphones. We are connected to each other. We have designed a materialistic world. We have created castles which are full of only materialistic things, which are lacking all the human emotions, which is only mindless living in today's life. Go back to your Almiras. See how much things, how much wealth we have accumulated in our life. Was it all worth it? Okay. Even if it was worth it, what have we done with technology? Today, we are tied to technology. The technology which was supposed to ease our lives today, which was designed with our lives, it has taken control of our own life. Right from morning till evening, we are continuously connected with social media, with WhatsApp, with Twitter, with televisions, with serials, with mobile phones, with computers, everything high tech, everything that we wanted in our life. But unfortunately, we can use it when we want, but we cannot leave it when we wish to do it. This is unfortunate. We have the most advanced electronic devices, mobile phones. You can connect to anyone, anywhere in this world, on the click of a button, without even thinking. But my question to you is, do you have any device today to connect with your own self, to connect with your own family, to talk to your own fellow family members, to your friends, to your social well-being? Unfortunately not. We don't have time in our life. No doubt we are wiser race. No doubt we are a smart race. And no doubt we are a fast race. But my question to you is a very pertinent question, that each one of you who are there today with us in this journey, you must ask yourself is, are we happier today? Are we peaceful today? Are we able to experience the same sense of joy in our life? Probably the answer of majority of us would be big no. That is the price that we are paying. We have everything, but today, if I tell you, while we are in our home, can you take a few thousand rupees or even a few lakh rupees and buy 1 kg of peace, 2 kg of joy, and 5 kgs of happiness for yourself? Probably not. Something that we want in our lives, my dear friends, is something that your money, your materialistic treasures cannot give you. And that is why, as somebody nicely said, that when we used to work from our heart used to govern our life. We used to be human beings. We have transformed from human beings today to human doings. We are continuously doing today. We have made ourselves into an evolved and a technologically highly bureaucratic generation. We have lost control over our hearts. And that is why today, while doing everything, when we want to eat food, we say we are very busy, we don't have time. Even if we want to have something, it's highly unfortunate that we don't even have 2 minutes to eat our food comfortably. Imagine, just look your typical day, that today we are multitasking. We are doing 10 things simultaneously. This is the kind of life, kind of technology that we have created. This is what we had bargained our life for. Ask yourself that this is the kind of life that you all wanted in your life, imagined for. This is what you had created, all this technology. Two sentences that we keep on using every day in our life. Just check these phenomenal sentences, these amazing sentences that each one of us are using hundreds and hundreds of times even today. Every hour, every half an hour, every 15 minutes, how many times do I say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy? Reflect on your life. Look back on your life. Last 5 years, last 1 year, every day, right from the morning, more powerfully than the virus. This word, I am busy, has infected more powerfully the human generation. It is spreading more rapidly than this wonderful little creature, the COVID. And the second sentence is, I don't have time. I am busy and I don't have time, seem to have captured our life. They seem to have infected our life. And once we endure, we believe that we don't have time. Once we believe that we are very, very busy, the calmness goes away from us. Because we program our mind. We tell our mind, we tune our mind, we repeatedly program our mind that yes, you are very busy in your life. And the result of that busyness is the kind of life that we all have created here today. My dear friends, if we want to create calmness in our life, if we want to remain relaxed in our life, let us all do today the first exercise. Let us pledge today, all of us who are here today on this beautiful journey. Let us repeat in our minds that let us delete this word busy from my dictionary. Let us not use this word in our life. This word busy and lack of time is an energy depleter. It takes away the sense of well-being. Instead, let us use another line. Repeat in your mind after what I am repeating, that from today, I am not busy in my life, but I am be easy in my life. Busy nahi hu, I am not busy, but I am be easy in my life. Easiness is what we all dream. My dear friend, you might be busy outside. That's fine. You may be doing 100 things. that is perfect. But to remain calm inside is a conscious creation that we all have to. It's a conscious choice that we all have to make in our life. Let it be easy inside and let it be busy outside. That is the crux of our existence. We must understand that as life is speeding up, as everyone is getting unwell in our life, we keep on using this word disease. Disease is a beautiful word. It comes from two words, dis plus ease. When easiness in our life, it goes away. It goes away both physically and mentally, we become disease. Just imagine today, while the virus is infecting only few 1% of the population, simultaneously we must understand the fear that this virus brings with us, the emotional changes, the behavioral changes that this virus this bringing with us, bringing along with this, the anxiety, the depression, the fatigue, the confusion, fear, and anger that we all are living with. This is taking a significant toll on our inside calmness. My dear friends, the disease affects our body much later. It's our mind that gets infected first. And it is a conscious choice to hold on to the disease in our own mind. If we want to remain calm, if we want to inculcate easiness in our lives, the process has to start inside. It's not a bodily phenomenon. Once we allow these emotional changes, once we allow these behavioral changes to take control of us, that is the time when we allow our immune system to go down. That is the time when we allow our body immunity to go down. Our body immunity is not just going to be improved by healthy diet. It is going to be improved by our healthy thought process. Once our thought is healthy, once we believe that nothing is going to happen to me, I'm going to remain calm within this storm, my dear friends, any disease, whether it is ulcers, diarrhea, osteoarthritis, viral illnesses like allergies, heart attacks, brain attacks, Alzheimer's, anything, it could be anything, they won't affect you. You will start defying your age and you will start living the life of your own choice. That's the key. That's the choice that we all have to create within our own self. That is a conscious creation that we make. Why this is important? Because as we go on this journey of life, you see, you are here at the center, but the interaction starts on a family level. Look at the relations, the quality of your relations in your family. What is the relation between children and you, between husband and wife, between your parents and yourself? What is the quality? Is my family a happy family? Do I have understanding? Do I have acceptance? Do I have appreciation within my family? If there is familial appreciation and understanding, my personal life would be very happy. My dear friends, we also interact professionally. While people try to get work done by us, similarly, we also try to get work done by our juniors. But let us choose and check that is ego governing my professional relations or my leadership skills, the love, the choice of harmony, accepting people nicely is governing my relations. That is what is beauty of my personal and professional relationships. Similarly, look at your social interactions. What is the quality of your relations and your friends? What is that relation governed by needs and desires, or is love the basis of my social relation? Everything influences my personal life. And then nature, these kind of incidents and government policies are bound to affect, and wonderfully, all these things, all these policies, families, nature, they have a powerful psychological effect on my mind. Everything is first affecting my own mind. We must understand today that if we take control of our own self, if I take control of my own psyche, I would be able to remain and create calmness in my family, in my social life, in my professional life, in these turbulences of nature, irrespective of the policies of government that I face, they are not going to influence me. But the key is I have to create that conscious choice. Look at this room. What comes to your mind when you see this interesting room? Isn't it surprising? You know, this room has everything. It has the most beautiful clothes, expensive and branded clothes. It has best of the perfumes. It has mobile phone, a laptop, an Apple iPhone, everything you dream of, best of the things it has. But if I ask you to describe this room, your answer would be stress, clutter, chaos, or disorganized. That is what describes this room. It has everything, yet it is stressful, my dear friends. This is the situation of our mind today. This is where our mind is leading us today. The National Science Foundation very nicely tells us that a normal human mind in a single day, your mind in a single day is generating 50,000 thoughts approximately in one day. And out of those 50,000 thoughts, 95% of the thoughts are negative thoughts, are waste thoughts, are purposeless thoughts, or are useless thoughts. Only 5%, the science study shows, are positive, purposeful, and powerful. Now, just ask yourself, what is the quality of our existence of our life on earth? If out of 50,000 thoughts, almost 48,000 thoughts are repetitive, are negative and purposeless thoughts, then what kind of our mind functioning is it? Is it a positive and a powerful mind, or is it a waste mind? You just imagine a factory producing only 2,000 good products and 48,000 products that are waste. You would definitely call it a useless or a waste factory. My dear friend, this is what the problem with our mind today is. If our mind generates a thought, every thought gives us behavior, a conscious choice, and that choice gives us a behavior. And that behavior gives us a feeling in our life, and that feeling is going to stimulate the same. So if we keep on thinking negative, if we keep on thinking same repetitive thoughts, that means same choices we make. That means same way we behave. That means same feelings we generate in our life. And again, it is going to stimulate the same thoughts. And then where is the evolution? Where is the question of change? Where is the question of creating calmness in our life arise? If we want to change our lives, we have to change our thoughts. When our thoughts are changing, our choices are changing. Positive thought, positive choices. Positive choices, positive behavior. Positive behavior, positive feelings. Positive feeling, positive thoughts, and hence we are an evolving generation. That is the key, my dear friend. This is what creates calmness in our life. This is what creates joy in our life. If we keep on thinking fear and pain, creating fear and pain and negativity in our life, we will have negative choices, negative behavior, negative feeling, and we will be stressful throughout the day. My dear friends, today, calmness is an inside phenomenon. We don't have to go anywhere outside. We don't have to beg people. We don't have to read hundreds and hundreds of motivational books or motivational lectures. That is not needed at all. But a single understanding, a point understanding that yes, if I have to create calmness outside, I have to create calmness inside my mind. You have to create calmness inside your mind. And creating calmness inside your mind is what is called yoga, is what is called meditation. In is the way out. When we go into the realms of our mind, when we understand the mysteries and power of our mind, when we understand that our mind has the power to bring the transformation inside as well as outside, magic starts happening in our life. Magic starts getting created outside, and then we become a evolved and a powerful generation, mindful generation. So today, I've summarized some beautiful scientific evidences. Even if you are not a doctor, it doesn't matter. You will understand so beautifully and logically that how we have the power of creating a change in our life. We have the power to bring that transformation. Every thought that you are thinking, that we are thinking collectively, is creating our future. Never underestimate the power of your thought. Just saying that I've just thought, I've not spoken a word, it is equally more powerful, and in fact more powerful than you're speaking it. It has more energy even than what a most powerful atomic energy would be having. And we would see that what kind of energy you all have by your own mindset. So never ever underestimate the power of your own thought. Can we shape our destiny by shaping our thoughts? Yes or no? Probably yes, probably no, or a big question mark. Let us understand that. And if we are able to shape that destiny, if my thoughts change, then definitely they're going to create a change outside. That means my thoughts should not be contained in my brain. They have to travel outside without my speaking. Does science prove it? The answer is big yes. Today's science clearly tells us that your thoughts don't remain with you. By the studies of magnetoencephalogram, without the machine touching your brain, only remaining distant to your brain, it can read your thought pattern. It can create a map, and the positivity, the negativity, the power of your thought, the quality of your thoughts would be mapped by this wonderful machine. And it tells us that your thoughts are influencing your mind first. It is influencing your genetic structure. It is having a powerful effect on your body. It is influencing our relations. It is influencing our nature. It is having an effect on what we are eating. And it is also transforming the climate where we are living, my dear. That means if we choose to create a calm thought, if we choose to create a peaceful thought, if we choose to create a positive thought, that means my mind would be positive, my genes would be positive, my body would be healing, my relation should be healthy, my nature would be healing, my food and water should get empowered, and my atmosphere would also start getting healed. But do we have a scientific basis for it, or it is just by logic? Let us understand this in the next journey. Can my thoughts affect my genes? Do your positive and negative thoughts can transform your genes? Are my mom and dad my limit? Kai bari hum log, we often say that, this is the kind of genetic structure that we are having. And this is the way we behave. That means my mom and dad are my limit. So if we are all pre-programmed with a gene map, that means our potential is set at birth, and that is a reason of big worry. If our potential is determined, it is not modifiable, then it is a reason for big worry. The second question that comes is, if our family tree is full of heart attack, if our family tree is full of cancer, then can we, like a light switch in our bedroom, can we switch off and switch on by our thoughts those negative genes that are having a negative influence? And can we switch on the positive genes of our life? If the answer is yes, then probably this is like having a health lottery. We can win a health lottery not just through our parents, but through our thoughts and our actions. This is a wonderful thing. But do we have the evidence? This is what we call the science of epigenetics. Like the genetic factors, the control switches that can switch off and switch on the genes. So can we control our DNA by our thought? Look at this, your chromosome. This we used to see in the biology. Everyone has seen this in our second class. And you see, this is your chromosome, the chromosome here. And it has certain genes that are waiting to be expressed. But what happens is, once a positive thought, a epigenetic factor, it unwinds the genes, it unwinds the DNA. This gene starts expressing when the DNA becomes accessible. And this epigenetic factor could be a thought process, could be an outer stimulus, it could be anything. And this is what Dr. Dean Ornish studied in his experiments. What he did was, now you see, he took a group of prostate cancer, 30 men with prostate cancer, and he was giving them standard therapy. On the other hand, he took another group who was having prostate cancer and he gave them medical therapy along with stress management, dietary management, and a healthy lifestyle. What were the results? Only after a few months of giving them a lifestyle intervention, the RAN gene, which was a cancer-causing gene, it significantly downregulated. Whereas the positive gene, the ZNF gene, which was a positive protein building gene, it started getting upregulated. And when he analyzed further, almost 500 gene expression was changed. 500 gene expression was significantly changed in this study. And you would be shocked and surprised that all the cancer causing genes, you see the red mark, all the cancer causing genes were down regulated. They were significantly down regulated by lifestyle interventions. This was the first evidence that we had that by your own thought process, by having appropriate lifestyle changes, you can transform switch off your negative genes and take control even over your gene and genetic structure. Taking a lead from them, we started doing a wonderful experiment. We took an experiment on the chromosomes of young people. Now, this is a chromosome, you see, like a cap of the shoelace. This chromosome has a cap outside. This is like a cap on the shoelace you see here, right? At a cap of the shoelace. What does this do? This is called telomere. This telomere does not allow the chromosome to disintegrate. उसको खराब होने से रोकता है. It does not allow the chromosome to disintegrate. When we are young, the telomere length is very, very long. And as we get old, the telomere length decreases. And that is why as we get old, the telomere length is decreasing, and hence the diseases are on an increase as we grow old. Hypertension, diabetes, cancer, heart attacks all increase with age. So what we did was, we took young patients of heart attack between 18 to 30 years. Those people who had heart attack at a very young age, they were non-smokers, they had no family history, and they were non-diabetics. We measured their stress levels, and the stress levels were significantly high. And we measured their telomere length in these young people, and we also had a control group whom we also measured the telomere length. What were the results? Now you see what happened. When we measured the telomere length of these people who had heart attack, their telomere length was significantly lower, and their telomere length was equal to the telomere length of a 70 to 80-year-old person. That means their chronological age was only 18 to 35 years, but their biological age was almost 60 to 70 years, as compared to the controls who had a normal telomere length. This was shocking and revealing. age only 18 to 30 years, but the chromosome was totally destroyed. It was disintegrated. When we went into more details, it was further shocking for us to understand that it was good nutrition, it was regular exercise, it was happiness in our life, positive outlook, positive love in our life that increased telomerase activity and increased telomere. Whereas those people who have poor nutrition, who face domestic violence, unhealthy relationships in family, work and stress disorder, who are not experiencing love, who are not sharing love, who lack purpose of life, who are not loving in their life, they are the people who destroy their telomere length and their telomerase activity. My dear friends, our young individual had significantly higher level of stress in more than 95 to 99%. What does it show? It shows that we must understand that transformation has to start inside. If we inculcate love and joy and happiness in our life, good genes can also be switched on. All negative genes will be switched off. The disease process will start going slower and slower. This is what the Harvard second generation study and Grant and Glueck study recently showed. This world famed study from Harvard University and Dr. Robert Waldner, he's sitting here right here. He showed this is the longest longitudinal study. He showed that there is only one secret to lead a fulfilling life, and that is to have good, loving relationships. Good genes are important, but joy in our relationship, happiness in our relationships, calmness and love in our relationships is much, much more important. My dear friends, we all must understand today that three most important things that we can give to everyone in our life is our love, is our time, and is our attention. These are the most precious things that today you can give to everyone. It's not the materialistic things, it's how much time we can spend together. As we are locked up in our home, take out time to be a kid. Take out time to sit together with your mother and father, for whom you used to say, we don't have time. Those kids you never used to bother to give even half an hour or an hour. Take out time to just be yourself. Inculcate that childhood memories, relive those childhood memories in your life, and you will see the chaos just melts away. The love starts growing in. Sit down together, switch off the mobiles, switch off the technology, switch off the television, look into the eyes of each other, cook meals, sit together and have a meal together in a family. Don't create home within homes. Everybody should be there on the dining table. In our own family today, when I have my both parents as doctors, my younger sister as an entrepreneur, even today we all sit together. It's been 40 years. We sit together on the dining table. We dine together. We cook together. We look up and talk to each other. That's the beautiful creation of letting go of chaos in our lives, my dear friends. We must understand that happiness is not a destination. Today, we create chaos in our life because we choose to chase happiness in our life. My dear friends, happiness is a conscious choice that we all have to create. Don't run after happiness. It depends not from how much you are having. It does not depend on how many materialistic treasures there are. Your bank accounts, irrespective of how much your bank accounts today are, they must be soaring or they may not be that much, but it doesn't matter. Today, what matters is who is there next to me. Today, we are spending money just on our food, water, and meager things that are important for our survival. What we need in our life is to connect with each other. And this goes on to prove and show that our fixed DNA makeup is not your truth. Times Magazine came up with a beautiful cover page that your DNA isn't your destiny. We have the power to transform and change our genes by the choices that we are making in our life. That is the power that we have. To remain calm inside, we can transform our complete mind and our genes. The second question that comes to our mind is, can my choice of calmness also affect my body? Is it possible that I choose to create calmness by remaining and creating this calmness in my own life? Can it have an effect on my body? The answer is big yes. A beautiful experiment which was carried out by Dr. Howard Leon in Harvard. He's a famous neuroscientist. What he did was fantastic. He took one group. The first group, he actually taught them to play piano. Those guys were made to sit in front of piano. They were actually taught in practical how to play piano for almost 2 weeks. Then he chose another group, and that group didn't face the piano. They were just sitting in their rooms, but they were just given all the literature, everything. They were given the book, and they were allowed and taught to imagine in their mind as if they are actually playing piano. So group one was actually playing piano, and group two, while being taught, they just imagined that they were playing piano. And he wanted to study the brain response to both the groups. What was the brain response? And when he did the scans of motor cortex, when he did their brain scans of the motor cortex that controls the piano playing finger, what happened? It was surprising to see that the brain scan motor cortex area, it expanded similarly in the brain of those people who were just imagining as compared to those people who were actually playing. This is the state. This is shows that mental practice merely, just merely our thinking, repeated thinking can lead to reorganization of our brain. This goes on to prove that if we keep on creating positive thoughts in our mind, this goes on to show that if we keep on creating positive and powerful thoughts in our mind, we can keep on creating structural changes in our brain. Just look up to your brain today. Today, each one of us is ingesting not routine, much more than routine. In fact, toxic doses of fear every day. Look at this. Right from morning till evening, we open up our newspaper, we open up our mobile phones, we open up our televisions, social media, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, everything we are opening and continuously looking at those medias related to COVID, more fear, so many deaths, what is happening, sad messages, good messages, everything we are consuming. And when we consume this much information, we allow it to come into our own life. When we consume this information, it becomes part of our ecosystem. It becomes part of our thought process. It becomes part of our body, and we start radiating the same information to all other millions of people by again the same social media. And what happens to our brain? The moment we consume fear, amygdala, the organ of our body, it starts preparing our brain for fight, hijacks our brain who is preparing for fighting and flighting this situation. When amygdala hijacks our brain, it is not, we must understand, we are no longer controlling and driving our car, but it is our fear which is controlling and driving our brain. And this is what is happening with all of us. Why there is chaos in the world today? Why there is fear today in the world today? Because we are allowing that fear to take control. We are not taking control of our own mind and creating calmness. And once we let go of the calmness, let go of the control from our mind, it is fear that is driving our body. My dear friends, Look at the catastrophic effect that it is having. Continuously consuming social media. Let us take a simple pledge today. Let us do a very simple exercise today. From 24 hours that we get today, we get every day in a single day, let us not use social media for 2 hours early morning when we get up for consuming this fear. You can listen to good music, that is fine. And let us create a e-free zone in our life 2 or 1.5 hours before we go off to sleep. What I understand in my life is it's a 60-40-60 principle. Very simple. If you find the other thing difficult, use a simple 60-40-60 principle. 60 minutes in the morning, no social media, no mobile phone. 40 minutes in the evening, when I'm sitting with my family, no phone beside me. We should shut off our phone. We should look ahead with each other and connect with our family. And 60 minutes before going to our bed, we should again create an e-free zone. You do it for a single day. Studies have shown that it has a very powerful and positive effect on your mind. You know, fear attracts darkness. But when we let go of this fear, the darkness starts fearing us. Darkness goes away. Let us create optimism. Whatever we want to create outside in our life, if we want to see calmness outside, if we want to see joy and happiness in our lives outside, in our society, in our world, my dear friends, we just don't have to speak. We just don't have to broadcast these messages by recording. We have to do only one thing. We have to create this calmness in our mind. We have to create this joy in our mind. We have to start our day with positive affirmation. We have to start our day with optimism, with positivity, with positive vibes, with positive outlook, with positive motivation. And you know, success will automatically come to our lives. Pessimism leads to weakness, irrespective of who we are, irrespective of where we are. Optimism leads to power. Optimism can create miracles in our life. Can our thoughts affect illness? Can it have effect if we are ill, if our body is really ill? Do science has some evidence? My dear friends, science gives us some wonderful and beautiful evidence. Look at this. A wonderful experiment published in NEJM by Dr. J.B. Mosley. He did a fantastic experiment. What he did was, understand this, he took patients of osteoarthritis, those patients who have knee pain. To first group who had osteoarthritis, a proper lavage was done, a debridement surgery was done. They were taken up into the OT and actual manipulation was done. To the other group who had again osteoarthritis, they were made to experience and they were made to told as if the actual surgery is going on. They were taken into an operation theater. The whole simulation was there. They were anesthetized. Holes were created into their knees, but no procedure was done. Their relatives were told that the surgery was done. When they went outside, again they felt that the surgery was done. So in actually, the first group actually had surgery and the second group didn't have surgery, but they felt and they were made to understand as if they had the surgery. And this is called sham procedures or sham surgery. What they was followed up over 6 months. The results were again surprising. Both the groups reported similar improvement in pain. Can you believe it? The persons who had actual surgery and the persons who just believed that they had surgery, the improvement in pain was almost similar. How did it happen? How did it happen? Just by your mind process, just by your firm belief that the procedure has been done, I am better. And this is what is known as placebo effect. Your belief, your optimism, your suggestibility, your empathy can create powerful effects on your life. if I keep on thinking negative, similarly like placebo, we have nocebo effect. Pessimistic people, oh, this is going to get worse. We are anxious people. We are catastrophizing every day what we are seeing on media. We are catastrophizing everything. We are creating pessimism. Even if something bad has to happen, we are contributing by our thought process, and we are letting go of calmness from our lives. My dear friends, the message is very strong, that create positive thoughts. When we create, if thousands of us who are here today with us on this journey, if we started creating positive and powerful thoughts in our life, where will calmness go? Calmness has to come back to our lives. Calmness has to reign in our families and take control also of our society. Our thoughts, my dear friends, can have powerful effects in serious diseases. I will show one of the most revealing and powerful experiments and powerful examples in front of you. One of this old gentleman and one from my own life that I'm going to show, which I generally never share with anyone. This is revealing today. This old gentleman is Mr. Stomatis Moratis. You know, this gentleman is a US war veteran. And when he retired, he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, a biopsy proven lung cancer. No medicines at that time. And he was given only 4 to 6 months to live. Only 4 to 6 months to live. So he thought, either way I'm going to die. Let me go back to my own home, Ikaria in Greece, where this burial would cost only $20. Because in US, burial would be costing $200. So he went back to his home in Greece. He started reconnecting with his faith. He started living with his family, whom he was missing for years. He started talking to his friends whom he had forgotten. He started planting vineyards in front of his home, which you can see at his back. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months passed, 1 year, 2 years, 6 years passed. His health started improving. He was wondering that, oh my God, I was supposed to die, but how come I'm still living today? And after living for almost 10 years, he flew back to US to just meet his doctors, to ask them that what has happened, why come he's not dead, just to find that all those doctors who has diagnosed him with cancer, they were dead already by that time. My dear friends, he again came back to his town called Ikaria, and he died at the age of 102 years. He lived up to 102 years. And this man is called the man who forgot to die. This place, the beautiful place on earth, is called the island where people forget to die. This is called the island of Ikaria, the real picture in front of you. These are people who have an average longevity of more than 90 years. They are not connected with technology as we guys are connected today. You see them playing natural games. They meditate. They be happy. They exercise every day. They eat a natural diet. This is the key to our lives, my dear friend. This is the beauty of creating calmness in our lives, my dear friends. My dear friends, there are 5 such blue zones on earth. Every blue zone, California, Loma Linda, Nicosia Peninsula in Costa Rica, Sardinia in Italy, Ikaria in Greece, Okinawa in Japan, all these 5 places have a longevity of more than 90 years. Common factors, people remain happy in their lives. People exercise every day. People let go of technology. They use technology to their minimum. My dear friends, this is the key to remove chaos in life. This is the key to inculcate calmness and experience joy in our life. I'll share a beautiful example, my own life story. In 2003, when I was doing DM cardiology, I started losing weight. I had seizures in the month of March, and it was a very serious. I was admitted to ICU. And when my brain scans were done, you can see they were my brain scans, and in my brain scans revealed large mass in my brain. For 2.5 years, I was on 18 drugs, 8 out of 19 drugs, I was resistant to 18 drugs. Every day, I used to have toxic injections of amikacin on my hand. I used to gulp pills like so much. Samples were sent all over the world, but nothing was working out. And ultimately, I had a brain surgery on 20th June 2005, 20th June. And this was my brain scan just 5 days prior to my surgery. I was doing fine. And after 6 months of my surgery, in January 2006, you see, the mass was removed automatically, but this was what happened. My cerebellum again developed a mass in my brain. It was inoperable. Nothing could have been done. I was feeling lost. What would I be doing now? I am on medicines. There was chaos in my life. What should I be doing? I said, nothing doing. I should not be losing hope in my life. For 1 year, I started doing Raj Yoga meditation in my life. For 1 year, I used to get up every day 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. in my life. And I used to drink and charge powerful water, creating and believing only one thing, that I am fine. Nothing is going to happen to my mind. The medicines are working perfectly, and this mass is dissolving in my brain every day morning. And my belief system, my conviction and perseverance used to make me happy. And I even passed my exam comfortably. They were colleagues, my family. So there was so much, pain, but there was no sorrow in my life. After 1 year, my scans were repeated. In April 2007, the scans, when they were repeated, my dear friend, the mass had completely disappeared from my brain. This is the magic. When we believe that, yes, we are going to be fine, our own belief system, our own conviction can create magic. It is the power here, the thoughts here that are working magic in our life. We have to choose and create happiness in it. We have to choose to create and eat happiness pills in our life every day when we live. Every day when we choose to create our life, you take medicine. Whatever you want to take, you take, but be happy. Share this happiness, share this joy with everyone. This is the key. What you think, your body, your mindset, everything can become. Your thoughts have a powerful effect on relations. Your thoughts have a wonderful effect on relations. While science took thousands of years to prove this, to show this by experiments, we all know today, my dear friends, that even plants and animals communicate with vibrations. A deer would never go close to a lion because the energy can be felt by a distance. Similarly, my dear friends, we are not just physical entity, but we are energy waves. We bring a aura. We bring a energy along with us at our workplace, at our home, in our relations. It is very, very important. Just imagine if we are calm, if we are peaceful, if we are happy, and we enter our home, we bring that energy with in our home. Similarly, if we are very anxious, very angry, and we bring that energy into our home, our whole atmosphere gets spoiled and it is full of turmoil and negativity. That is why we must understand that check always what aura we are creating in our life. Human beings today are taught to communicate with language. We are continuously speaking. We must understand that I can be very sweet to you. You can be very sweet to me, but inside our mind, we might be having a different thought process. But we must understand that we have the ability to use vibrations. I am a firm believer that language is designed to hide feelings. If today we all communicate not with our language, but with our positive and powerful vibrations, with a beautiful and healthy thought process, my dear friends, our relations would never go wrong. The nature would just love us. Our family would be happy. Our society would be nurturing each other. Our country, our city and universe would always be very, very peaceful. Yes, we can communicate with our thoughts. We have the power to communicate with our thoughts. My question to you is, take only 5 seconds and reflect in your life. Do we experience these emotions in our life? The emotions of anger, irritation, hatred, jealousy, competition, criticism, complaint, and expectation. These are the emotions that we carry for everyone in our life. You see, if we interact with one person, if somebody is angry on us, we allow that person to take place and capture some space in my mind. My question to you is, one negative person, one negative energy, I give space in my mind. 365 days, 365 persons, 365 negative energies, I give them a place in my mind. 10 years, 3,650 people, mixed negative energies, I give them a space in my mind. Would my mind be a positive, a powerful, or a calm mind, or would my mind be a turbulent mind? The answer is right there in front of you. My dear friends, let us let go of hatred and jealousy for everyone. Let us today learn to embrace in our life love, acceptance, compassion, understanding, appreciation, adaptability. Just imagine your relations. How calm would be your life if love determines the way? How beautiful would be our relations if we accept and appreciate? Your relations need only two things: acceptance and appreciation. If we accept and appreciate, we naturally shower love to everyone. We naturally have a wonderful, compassionate life. This is the key. If we inculcate all these emotions in our mind, if we transform, our mind has all these emotions. It's only a question of letting go of all the negativity from our mind. It's time. This virus tells us, this disease tells us, it makes us understand the brevity of our life. My dear friends, we today understand that we live today as if we are never going to die. We plan for eternity. We plan for years and years. And when we are not even sure for what tomorrow has in store for us, let us make a conscious choice. Make this choice in your hand, that let us hold hands and not grudges. You see, the chaos disappears and calmness start coming to you. It starts taking control of your life. It's time that we shower love and acceptance to everyone and transform our life. It's time that we are not that digitally connected. It's time that we are not just connected by high powered technology, but this time, these turbulent times tells us that we should be connected by touch in our lives. High touch is the new way in the post-COVID era. It is important to complement our technology by a hand of compassion. When somebody is dying in ICU today, I read a painful story yesterday in an ICU of a mother who was dying, who had a young child waiting at home. The mother was being messaged, who was a nurse. The child was messaging, "Mom, I love you. Please come back. I'm waiting for you." Last night, the mother received a message and she knew that she is not going to make up. And she messaged back, "Beta, I also love you." But she lost her life. My dear friends, this explains the brevity of life in this present scene. We must understand that this is the time that we all love each other. We take care of each other and remove this chaos from our life. Our thoughts can affect the meals. When we are eating food today, what is the energy that we are instilling into it? The fear, the pain. Oh my God, what is happening? What I'm going to do? Don't ingest your food with fear, my dear. Whenever we eat food, whenever we drink water, empower your food and water by your thoughts. Science clearly tells us that your thoughts, your emotional energies, the calm vibrations can change the structure of the water also that you are drinking. Look at these beautiful experiments by Dr. Masaru Emoto. When we give the feeling of ugly, of fear to the water, see the structure of water from the same source is so ugly. But when the same water is given a very beautiful, powerful feeling of love and thanks, the structure changes into a beautiful diamond. He carried out these experiments using lively emotions like truth, eternal, angel, love, peace. See how beautifully the structure of water changed. But when the emotions which were negative virtues and like fool, like evil, you make me sick, these are the kind of emotions that we have today. See the structure of water that it changes into. He went on to say, Dr. Masaru Emoto, that by holding intention of peace towards water, by thinking, by speaking and acting with intention with peace towards water, my dear friends, we can transform even water by our. Not only this, he told us that we can even transform our food. Look at this grains of rice. Just merely 3 days, when we are giving the feeling of hate, you see the rice gets infected. On the same power, when we give the feeling of love, the rice is absolutely perfect. Where is this power coming from? It's our emotional energies that are working. It is our mind power that is creating magic. Look at this nature, my dear. The same plant, the mother nature, when we hate it, it dies off. When we ignore it, it is no longer there. But when we take care of it, we are taking care of our mother nature in a very loving way, which we have not done today. You know, the mother nature will start giving back to us. Let us ask not only create calmness for our own selves, but let us give positive energy to the nature. Let us give this energy to the nature that even it is getting healed and it is forgiving us for our misdeeds and what in the ways that we have harmed our nature. Our thoughts of purity, of peace, of calmness can transform even nature. And not only this, my dear friend, lastly, it can even transform the atmosphere. You would be asking that Dr. Gupta, if thousands of us who are joining here today with us, if we only 1,000 meditate, can we transform this environment of the city? The answer is yes, because these experiments have been conducted. Look at this beautiful experiment that was carried out. In 1993, when Washington City, a city of few million people, it was having increase in crime rate, rapes, homicides, and assaults were increasing. What they did was, in this city of millions, only 4,000 meditation practitioners for 30 minutes every day for only 6 weeks were asked to meditate with the aim to reduce violence. What was the aim? By creating a powerful influence on a large level of consciousness. Only 6 weeks. What happened? It worked. You would be surprised that there was almost nearly 23 to 25% decrease in rapes and homicides. And they concluded that in this city of million people, if only 4,000 people choose to meditate every day, create positive thoughts every day, homicides, rapes, and assaults would go down by nearly 45 to 50% in the city of Washington. This is the magic that our thoughts have. This is the magic that if we create calmness inside, it will transform not only our lives, it will transform the environment. We all have the potential to unlock the power of mind and create our destiny. My dear friends, we have the power to unlock this beautiful God gene. What is this God gene? This God gene is the beautiful and wonderful powers that our mind is endowed with. Every day, when we get up in the morning, each one of you is gifted with a beautiful gold coin. This gold box is 1,440 gold coins you all are gifted with. And these are 1,440 minutes that we have every day. My dear friends, if you want to make a positive and a powerful impact and change in your life, if we choose to create calmness in our life, if we want to let go of the chaos in our life, we need only 20 minutes out of these 1440. Only 10 minutes, 10 minutes in the evening. We can design and create our conscious future. What we need is to go on a spiritual vacation. Continuously talking, continuously connected to technology, continuously just working, continuously posting is not going to work. Meditation and silence is a way to reconnect better with our own self. It's the most powerful way science today has shown. It is a tool of epigenetics to rewrite the nature's blueprint. Look at these experiments. A normal person has an unbalanced wave pattern. The left brain and the right brain. It has unbalanced wave pattern, and that is why we feel weak. We are prone today to anxiety, depression, and mental health. Before the COVID era, almost 1/4 of us were suffering from depression, and 70% had some form of anxiety. And today, in pre-COVID era, in the COVID era, 95 to 99% of us are having some level of depression and anxiety. Do you understand that? And just 15 minutes of meditation is what we need. Within 15 minutes, you see the balancing of both the brain start. The waves of both the brains starts balancing, and both the hemispheres start working in sync. And it's only 25 minutes what it takes of powerful and positive thinking to create complete harmony between the left brain and the right brain. The neuro communication of our thoughts, it multiplies. It is better performing. It is more integrated. It is optimized, and both our mental and emotional health today becomes balanced. My dear friends, on one hand, when we all are living in a world of decision, on accuracy, on analysis, working only and only with logic, when we are planning strategies, when we are trying to take control and scientific, we must understand this is only 50% of our job done. If we want to create a holistic approach, we have to balance it with our right brain, which is a poetic brain, a loving brain, an intuitive brain, a passionate brain, a creative brain, a peaceful brain. When we choose to create calmness in our brain, we automatically start creating a beautiful logic in our life. And this is, my dear friends, what is called as meditation. A loving and intellectual communion of soul with Supreme Soul. It gives us positive thinking and a positive lifestyle. It's about going and understanding your own consciousness, your psyche, your spirit, your soul, and taking your mind as your best friend. Understanding that your mind is your best friend. My dear friends, when our life is peaceful, when our mind is peaceful, when our mind has thoughts of love, happiness, knowledge, purity, and power for everyone, bliss naturally is experienced by us. Let us today understand and sit before we live in few minutes of meditation. Just relax and sit back and try to inculcate this change. Try to clean up your mind, a mind which is your mind. Reflect on your mind. This is the most beautiful gift that God has given you. Look at your mind. Am I controlling my mind or my mind controls me? I am the creator of my mind. Why is it that there is chaos in my life? Chaos in my thoughts, chaos in my relations. Why is it I experience imbalance, anger, irritation, feeling of continuous letting others down, that feeling of competition in my life? It is taking away the sense of joy. Look at your mind. This is not the way I was supposed to be. Let me create and replace anger with love in my life. Love is my natural power. Love takes away chaos. It takes away the chaos in my mind and my relation. Experience the power of love from the Supreme, showering extreme power on your mind, cleaning, bathing it with a lot of love, peace, and joy. The chaos is melting away. Experience the joy of existence. Experience power of God's protection. The fear of getting infected, the fear of this world going down is no more there. Create a powerful aura of protection, a powerful protective aura around you. That aura of safety, of God's love and energy. Nobody can pierce that aura. I am protected. I am calm. I am a peaceful soul. I am loving. I shower and I choose to remain in this state throughout. Every 2 hours and 3 hours, we have to inculcate these few thoughts to empower our mind. Continuously be mindful of every thought that is coming to you. Look at it, empower it with love. Observe your thought and empower it with peace. Observe your thought and empower it with lot of energy, and you see the chaos will melt away. My dear friends, it is pertinent in the end today for us to understand that we all have to light this candle of change in our life. If we light one candle, we can remove the darkness in our life and in our homes. But just imagine if thousands of us light candles of hope, of positivity, of calmness, of joy, and of peace in our mind. Aren't we going to remove the chaos from our society, from our city, from our country, and from our universe? It is possible. It is possible. We have to understand that the best is yet to come. Thank you and Om Shanti. Be in this beautiful and silent state. Transform your life. Experience the peace. Om Shanti and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for very insightful and thought-provoking session. Sir, I am definitely sure that it has created a very much positive thought in our mind, and everyone is feeling peace in their mind right now. And sir, I have seeing here so many comments and lots of positive comment. The questions were hidden in the positive comments. So I will try to find out some question and I will ask you.
Surely.
There are lots of positive comments here. Sir, a question from Dr. Kalpana Bhagwat. Is there any method to calm our mind I think she is asking other than meditation?
See, meditation is one of the most beautiful ways, very calm way, and very simple. Another way is going to good to others. Once we want to calm our mind, we also have to engage in doing good, positive, and powerful things for our society, helping poor people, feeding poor people in these turbulent times. And another way to calm so many souls on this earth is giving them positive and healing vibration, not creating thoughts of fear and negativity, but sending those thoughts of solace. You see, once we give this joy and love to everybody, even by our mind and even by our words, we feed somebody, we experience the sense of joy and happiness. That is one of the most beautiful ways besides.
Thank you very much, sir. So there is another question from Dr. Gauri Krishna. How to meditate at home?
There is a very simple technique. You can also visit our YouTube channel of Brahma Kumaris, and you can also visit my YouTube channel on BK Dr. Mohit Gupta. The ways are very simply described. The first step is to take care of your thoughts. Be mindful of what we are thinking. Internalize yourself. Look at what is the quality of my thoughts. Transform those thoughts, energize those thoughts with a lot of love, peace, and positivity, and that externalize and radiate those positive thoughts to the whole universe, as I was narrating in this meditative experience. When you go to this experience, repeated experimentation, repeated practice makes you experience a lot of peace and joy in your life. Very simple practice. You don't need to sit in a particular posture. You don't need a wonderful environment. You need a very positive and powerful state of your mind. Taking few minutes of silence, keeping your mobile technology shut off, and being mindful, what are my thoughts? Engaging into those thoughts and taking energy from the Supreme Almighty of that love and positive and energy, and then showering that energy outside after empowering myself. That's a very simple and a beautiful way which we do in Raj Yoga.
Thank you, sir. There is another question from Jitendra Singh that it is very difficult to live without mobile or any Twitter technological app. As in a young age, we have to make our career. So it is very difficult to live without mobile. So can you guide further?
I never asked you to live without mobile. The simple message is to use technology judiciously. Ask yourself, everyone here today with us, ask only one thing. Am I the master or my mobile is the master? If you are the master, you are using it perfectly. But that constant eagerness and the constant search to check your mobile, that shows your mobile is your master. And that is not that is not what is right. And for that simple way I told you is 60, 40, 60 principle. Create a e-free zone. Use mobile, whatever, how much you want, but learn to create a e-free zone in the morning and in the night and while you are sitting with your family. Balanced usage is the key, not non-usage. That is what is important for us.
Thank you very much, sir. And sir, there are questions from many participants that how to remove negativity.
See, the simple way I would always suggest is we can take two ways. Do you want to remove negativity or do you want to inculcate positivity? The best way to remove negativity is to choose positivity in your life. Never try to create negativity or deal with negativity in your life. Very, very is to create positive thoughts and positive environment in your life. If we think about negative, try to remove negative, we will always get entangled because we are not empowered. Another beautiful way is to think of a positive virtue. Like you take an example, if I say that other person is making me angry, the very beautiful way is you choose a quality of other person. Every person, irrespective of his or her nature, would be having a quality. If you see and start appreciating that person, oh, I understand that there might be a problem, but that is a beautiful quality. You start appreciating that person and you see that negativity will be transformed and you will start inculcating. So look at a more positive aspect of the life. If we start dealing with negativity, it will never help. If we start dealing with our own self and start creating positivity, it will create miracles. Negativity is never an answer.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
So there is another question that fear of corona is a great problem for elderly. How to tackle it?
Why do you want to create fear? Why do you want to create fear? I tell you, out of 1 million people who are affected, less than 10 to 17 people will die. So why do you want to create fear that one person of your or any other family would be there in this? Can you manage this? You have to manage your fear. That is very, very important. Be concerned. Being concerned means I'm taking appropriate steps. Creating worry is negative. What we do in our life is we start creating worry. Worry is harmful. Concern is always judicious. So what you do is don't expose them to unnecessary to the environment. Social distancing, washing hands, communicate happily. Let go of the worry. Be just concerned and don't even think. Just keep on creating. My family is safe. Nothing is going to happen. I'm going to maintain everything perfectly as government has given me the directions. And you see, this fear will go away.
Thank you, sir. Another question that when somebody breaks our trust beyond imagination and then too does not admit, then what should we do?
Forgive. Forgive the person. Breaking of trust is a very common phenomenon. But you see, one must understand. We also do often on so much karma that that creates so much hurt for other people. But very important for us to understand is even if the person is not realizing, if we all keep on holding to that incident, we are creating a lot of negative energy for that person, and our mind becomes negative. Now, whenever you see that person, even if it is 10 and 20 years later on, you will start remembering that same old incident and you will start creating that same old negative energy for that person. That means that wound is still fresh in your mind. The best way is you're waiting for that other person to come and heal that wound. Another choice is I forgive that person. Once I forgive that person, you never forgive that person for that other person. You instead buy peace for your own self. You buy peace for your own self. You heal the wound inside your mind and inside your heart, and you create calmness in you. This is the crux of our life. How long we are going to live with this worry, how much we are going to lead our lives that we will take this so much negativity for so many people throughout our life. No, it is not worth it. We understand the brevity of life. Let go of, forgive, and that is the way you saw the person who has broken your trust will also start falling in place and will start loving you someday.
Thank you, sir. So another question, in today's competitive world, it is very difficult to take time for own self. So please suggest the way out.
Why? Are you are already, again you see the thought process, we have already believed that this is a competitive world and we have already believed that we are not able to take out time. What did I tell you right in the beginning of the webinar? That I am not busy and I have time for everything. That's the crux. That's the crux. We all are doing multiple things in our life. Out of 1440 minutes, can't you take out just 10 minutes for healing your own self? I don't believe that. My life also starts early in the morning, but I take out time to meditate and empower your own mind. Do you charge your mobile every day? How much time? half an hour, 1 hour, you sometimes charge your mobile twice a day. Then why don't we take out time to charge our own mind also? Only 10 minutes and 20 minutes is what is needed to charge your mind. Can't we take out this much time? Let go of this belief system. Create this positive, transform thinking that today it is a competitive world, but I am not in a race. I am a very happy and a loving being. I have time for my own self and I have time for everybody. Transform your thinking and you see it will transform you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is another question. Is there is a significant effect of Brahm Muhurat?
You are absolutely right. According to the Shastras and according to this, it scientifically, if we understand, the once we go to an airport, when do you see more traffic? Is it in the early morning or is it in the afternoon or in the evening? What would be your answer? May I ask you, Dr. Mitesh, what would be your answer? In the early morning, 4, 5 a.m. would be more traffic or would it be in the evening? Naturally,
Naturally in the evening.
in the evening because people are there. Similarly, in Brahm Muhurat, that is from 2 to 5 a.m., most of the people are sleeping. That means their thought processes are absolutely silent. Only those people, the positive energies are working. And so when you meditate, the obstacles, the negative thoughts that you are able to face from other people are very less. And you are able to connect and experience meditation much easier. That is why it is very logical and powerful to connect in the morning.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, another question that I experienced to help many people, animal and needy, but at some time I feel that I am not enough to help them, and I feel dissatisfied, frustration, and later
You know,
on I am forced to avoid helping others. So what to do?
don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. There are two ways to work. Out of millions of people, not everybody is helping everybody, isn't it? But you can do seva, you can do service, you can help others by power of your words. Didn't I show you today? This is what is the beauty. We believe that only cosmetic things and outward help. What are people doing today? Throughout the world, I'm surprised and shocked to see that people are helping others and then people are taking a snap and posting all over the country. They're posting on the social media. People are feeding millions of people and people are taking snap, taking selfies and posting on the Facebook and WhatsApp. Is this the way we help others? Dan and helping others is always done silently. We don't need to go shouting all over the world that I'm helping others, I'm helping others. My dear friends, even if you're not able to help others by your materialistic treasures, you can help others by your mind, by giving them positive and powerful vibrations, healing vibrations. This is going to work even more powerfully than what your this stool dhan, your monetary dhan, your food dhan is going to. But everything has to work silently. I am very surprised to see people doing this, posting this. I have donated this much crore. Oh, and earning a clothes. Don't need to show to the world that what you are doing.
Yes, rightly said, sir. Sir, there is another question that we are simultaneously use mobile and takes our food. So how it will be harmful?
Very harmful. You see, first question is why should you be having mobile while eating? May I ask you this? What is the necessary? Out of 24 hours, can't we have 10 minutes to have to eat your food comfortably? Because whenever we are eating food, I showed you the vibrations and the energy that you are working with, that you are eating with, are also getting into your food. When you go to a mandir, masjid, gurdwara or church, or you go to a spiritual place, you have some spiritual food. Do you like to eat that food with a mobile phone? The vibrations in that food are so powerful that you eat them in silence. Similarly, when you are in your home, empower your food with your vibrations. Keep your mobile phone silent. If you connect your food works, absorbs energy very fast. Once you are connected with a mobile phone, the energy is different and that is absorbed by the food and your food will not be empowered. However tasty, how much tasty it may be, it doesn't matter. So that is why scientifically it is now very pertinent for us to understand. Create a e-free zone, no telephone, no mobile, no television while you're having a. Try this
Thank
for a
you.
day and you will feel the energy. Okay? Anything more?
Yes, sir. Only last question, sir.
Yeah.
There is sometimes a lot of insecurity about parents. What if they are not there? So this feeling always bothers. How to overcome this feeling?
Don't be again fear creating person. Why should you be having fear? Instead, you should create a fear of positivity. You may be concerned, that is fine. That they are there, wherever they are perfect and they are in safe health. That is what is most important. Creating calmness is a conscious choice that each one of you have to make. Creating calmness is a natural choice that you all have to inculcate. That is what we have to understand. It is your inside your mind. Meditation helps you, gives you the control of your own car. You are in the driver's seat. The situation is not in the driver's seat. You see, situation is same for hundreds and thousands of people, but how everybody is behaving is their own choice that they are creating. This depends on how they are absorbing that situation, and that is what matters. That is what. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Now,
Thank you.
no more questions. So, sir, I would like to thank you very much for your gracious
Thank you.
presence
Thank you.
and giving us valuable insights.
Thank you so much. Thank you and Om Shanti, and wish you a very pleasant, happy journey from today. Very pleasant journey. Don't make your life busy, make it very comfortable. Experience the power of God and create joy and happiness in your life. Create calmness in your life. You are a already empowered soul. Thank you so much and namaskar and Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.